So I made a tactic. I gave it to a team that's 2,000 to 1 odds-on favorites to get relegated. And I ran a sim 3 times. In fact, you can see the sim right now in the background. It avoided relegation each time. I gave the same tactic to Villarreal and the same tactic to another team, and each time they outperform expectations. So what's this really interesting tactic? We're not going to bother with the intro anymore. As you can see, there we are. The season is almost coming to an end. This is the third simulation that I've run with this team. So when you begin the game, there are 2,000 to 1 odds-on favorites to get relegated. By the time we finished the simulation, they were on 41 points. Now that's comfortably out of relegation, and their odds had been cut to about 700 to 1. I'm still one of the sides expected to get relegated as well, but this clearly shows that they were very comfortable. They've had some interesting results away from home. They defeated Fiorentina 4-1. They defeated Sampdoria away from home 2-1. They had some big defeats. I mean, Sassuolo 7-0. After all, we can't expect this tactic to beat everybody. Empoli 3-1. Verona 2-0. They also beat Sampdoria at home 5-2, so it was not much of a fluke there. And then, of course, Sassuolo 3-2 at home. Now, let's take a look at some of these goals. We're not going to look at every single goal. I just want to pick out the ones that I'm more interested in. Is the creation from the left side, releasing the right striker to go in to score a goal. Now, from these transitions alone, I'm actually quite happy because I see 2 of the moves initiated by the player I wanted to initiate the moves, which is on the left, and that's from Ribery. And it's pretty interesting because they did comfortably beat Fiorentina 4-1. I actually created this tactic on the Total Tactics save. Now, if you're not familiar with this is a really easy way for you to check if your tactic is any good. Pop it in, and if it does well in all the leagues, you know you've got something to work from. So I created a tactic there, then I fine-tuned it, and I brought it into this little save with Salitana. Now, if you want to get your hands on the Total Tactics save, it's very simple. Just follow the Discord link in the video description below, and you should be invited to the Total Tactics Discord, where you can go download the Total Tactics save so that you can use it in any one of your Football Manager saves. Back to this tactic. Now, the idea behind this tactic is simple. It's based on Mane's revenge from FM19. If you remember the tactic, it was overload left side, release the striker on the right. It was very simple. Now, the principles are the same, except I've changed a couple of roles to account for the fact that I'm actually using with a weaker team. Now, of course, you can see the roles. I'm not going to read out the roles and duties for you guys, but what I want to do here is I want you to take a look at this. We don't have pressing at a maximum. We have prevent short goal distribution. We're also playing with a high defensive line, a much higher line of engagement. I'm taking advantage of the fact that we have players up top who can press defenders, which is the reason why I went to a pressing forward and an advance forward. These 2 roles are going to do a lot of damage in terms of keeping pressure on the opposition defenses. Then we've got a combination here, Mazzala and a fullback attack combination. Now, I didn't want to go with a wingback because a wingback is going to dribble with the ball and he might lose it. Now, if I put a fullback and a Mazzala together, now what I will create is a combination that can actually cross the ball very effectively. The Mazzala goes into the half spaces and the fullback follows him. And then you get this crossing monster from the right side, which can release the advance forward, who will attack the channels, pulling defenders away, making more room from the passing forward. Now, I've also got this underlap on the left side. Now, the underlap has been done in a rather interesting way. I like the way I've done my own underlap because it creates flooding on the left side. Now, the challenge with a lot of underlaps is lack of width, because sometimes what you get is this drive through the middle and, you know, your players run into each other. So what I've done is I've told this AP to stay wider. Now, because the AP is going to stay wider, it's going to be more room for the inverted wingback. The central midfield on attack is going to drive towards the box. So whoever's the widest player who holds on to the ball, he's going to look for inside runs. He's going to look for players making those kind of runs. And I've stuck an attacking playmaker here because then we've got a ball magnet as well. Now, the dangerous thing now is we've got 2 of them. We've got the attacking playmaker and we also have the inverted wingback. Now, the inverted wingback is like a quasi-playmaker. Think of Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, he arrives into this position and then he might release the ball as well. So what I've done with him is I've told him to shoot less often and mark tighter. Marking tighter is just part and parcel of the press, because I don't want the press to go all over the pitch, which is the reason why it's a three-quarter press. What I've done instead is I've told these guys in front, we don't have many PIs, if you notice, just stay wider. The CM on attack has just been told to stay wider and tackle hard. So we've got these players actually pulling to one side, because the inverted wingback is going to come into this split pocket over here. We got a central midfielder on defense. We got Mazzala on attack who's been told to tackle harder. I mean, we have to, because there's a lot of space on the right flank. Then we got a fullback on attack. This fullback has received a lot of love. We've told him to take more risks, cross from the byline, dribble less, shoot less often, stay wider, mark tighter. I want more width in this tactic. I want them to stretch defenses as far as they can. And then the central defenders and the ball-playing defender, they don't have any PIs here. The inverted wingback on attack, yes, he has only mark tighter and shoot less often. I know there's a whole bunch of you out there who just want to run off and use the tactic. Yes, the download links for the tactic are below. But for those of you who are interested to see what the transitions are like, because after all, if you want to create a tactic, you have to pay a lot of attention to the transitions. That's what I'm going to focus on next. One of the reasons why I want to pay a lot of attention to transitions is because this role is key. The AP plays in a very wide position. Now, he's also going to occasionally drop as deep as a fullback. This means that if you're going to pick a player for this role, you got to pick a player who's pretty decent under pressure. He's got to have good agility. He's going to have decent passing. He's got to have composure. He's got to have good first touch, because this is not the place where you want to lose the ball. As you can see, the AP has dropped really deep. This is as deep as where a fullback gets, and this is how we recycle possession of the ball. Now, if I were to change certain team instructions, I could also go pass it into space with hit early crosses. This is where he becomes very dangerous, because as you can see, we've got a numerical advantage on the opposite flank. If he were to release a deep diagonal, if he's got very good passing vision and flair, this is a great opportunity to attack them down one flank, and this will release the CM. The CM will arrive late into the box. This is a good time to look for players who've got gets into opposition area as a trait, or they have very good long shots. I do understand why this system plays really well against the 4-2-3-1, because it outnumbers them in midfield with 3, and it also gives a problem because it's able to flood one side of the pitch where they are going to be forced into pulling one of their AMs to help them cover that area. This creates a very good situation to outnumber them in the transition. Here you can see the fullback on attack and the Mazzala working very closely together to create an early crossing opportunity for the advanced forward. He lays it off for the pressing forward who scores. After conceding a goal, we scored almost immediately from the restart. Here you can see the positioning of the players. Here we got the attacking playmaker. He's giving us a lot of width. The inverted wingback is here. But notice what the advanced forward is doing with the pressing forward. Both of them are keeping players occupied. This releases this fullback and the AP. Both of them are going to be relatively unmarked. Now the ball is going to be played out to the central midfielder on defense. Now in this position, he goes right, the fullback is free. The AP is able to come in this way. So once the fullback has the ball, he squares it and then he puts it into the box. And if you've got a player with good heading, which is something I definitely will recommend, because there are going to be quite a few players in this team that are going to be crossing the ball. Come on, boys. Crossing is OP in FM22. Just put the ball in the box. Find yourself a player who's got very good jumping and heading. Put a 3 in the box if you have to. You're going to score a lot of goals. So this tactic, well, it's got nothing to do with money, but it was built on the tactic, right? So I'm going to call it Mane's Revenge 2. If you guys come up with a better name, let me know in the comments below. Once again, the link for the tactic is below in the description of the video. Yes, I was losing my train of thought there. Let me know how the tactic does for you. If you have any questions, you guys know where to find me. Meanwhile, stay safe and healthy and look after each other. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.